You're listening to His Empire of Dirt, Chapter 8. Michael Afton continues to burn. He feels like he's gotten hit by a car. With a grunt, Mike remembers. Oh shit, I did get hit by a car. William, he stammers as he searches for his young father. Did the car hit him? Is he keeping his promise? Thrashing a bit, Mike realizes that he's no longer in a dark street of London. He's no longer being sought after by a little lonely boy, and he's no longer being carried to the hospital. He is in a goddamn ball pit once more. His joints ache, but immediately being thrusted back into a life-or-death scenario, he ignores it, because he can smell melting plastic and burning wood. He jumps upward and bolts from the pit, heaving, patting himself all over. He is once again a corpse. Bummer. He is once again being faced off by his robotic father. Major bummer. And he is ultimately convinced that the entire affair had been a dream. His father looks at him, his robot head tilted to the side, studying him. Mike heaves, and the two are frozen for a moment. Then, his father lurches forward. Mike takes a step back, still heaving, his heart pounding louder than it had been in the last few decades of his life. The ball pit is in the center of the room, the last place to be consumed by flames, the fire inching forward from the vents in the ceiling. Mike stares at his father, and whenever he blinks, he imagines little William is there, crying, lamenting the boogeyman in his closet, pleading with Mike to be the okay, to stay, to be his friend. Before he knows it, Mike's face softens, and then he points at his dad and laughs. Wow, your dad was almost as big a piece of shit as you. His father cranes his head so far that Mike imagines it'll snap from his endoskeleton. You used to be so damn scared. I guess you ended up breaking your promise, since we're still here. Since we're still dying. You are speaking nonsense, his father stammers, brandishing his bone arm like a rapier and advancing once more. Elizabeth and Evan and I all died because you couldn't stop being scared of the fucking monster in your closet. Because you couldn't keep your promise to me. What? Did you name your son Michael because I was the only decent person to you in your entire life? At that, his father finally quits his incessant conquest of dragging one foot in front of the other, and he tilts his head once more to the opposite side, and his robotic face morphs into something resembling a sneer. Mike flushes with the heat and the realization. His father has absolutely no bloody clue what he's talking about. Christ. The entire event was what? Almost a century ago? How could some decayed rabbit hope to remember a random weekend when he was 10 years old? Still want to kill me, old man? Get it over with. Do what you could never manage to do. His father takes a moment, staring at the ball pit. He's curious. Curious like he had once been studying the dead rabbit. And he takes a step closer to the pit, instead of towards his son. Hey, didn't you hear me, you son of a bitch? Come and get me! With a horrible epiphany, Mike realizes that perhaps the insults have caused his father to be privy to the situation. That for some convoluted reason, the $4,400 likely urine-plastered plastic utopia is a gateway to a urine-plastered alley near his childhood home. Crap. For not the first time in his life, he's given his father an advantage. You've always been such a moron, Michael. Yeah, well, maybe Dad was right on that front. Mike feels pretty damn stupid now. Anyway, William! He screams, over the flames, over the crumbling building above them. Somehow, the worst thought that tumbles through Mike's mind is not dying at the hands of his father. It's little William Afton, the crying kid that doesn't understand his brain, that asks Mike to forgive him, falling victim to his older self. It's the thought of another kid dying because Mike couldn't stop it that sends his adrenaline coursing through his body. He dashes toward his father, and he throws all of his weight against the dilapidated animatronic. Caught off guard, his father crumbles to the ground before he can touch the ball pit. Easily, his father grabs him on the shoulder, crunching down on it. Mike grimaces in pain and manages to wrench himself away, but not before kicking down at a loose wire where his father's foot connects to his calf. He hammers his foot there a couple more times before he is tossed aside like a broken doll. I can't let him get in there. I still have to save him. He leaps forward and grabs his father's fragile ankle, using all of his strength to yank him backward. His father's bone arm almost nicks the ball pit on its rubber casing, missing it by mere centimeters. Mike screams out as he drags his father across the floor. The animatronic twists around and kicks Mike against the chest, and the wind is knocked out of him. What did you say, Michael? His father demands, towering over him. He strikes down at him, and Mike just barely rolls out of the way to dodge the fatal blow. You pathetic little thing. He hit you, Mike screams, and he tackles his father once more. He hit you, like you hit me. You were supposed to protect me. You're my dad, and all you ever did was make me want to die. You killed my son. His father laughs maniacally, his voice grating like metal scraping against each other. The ceiling falls apart around them, moonlight streaking into the pizzeria. Murderer! Mike has always known he is a murderer. The barb still hurts, but at least it's nothing new. Nothing he hasn't told himself every single moment of every single day of his pathetic, decaying life. Dad must notice his defeat, for he begins laughing once more. Always wanted to be just like dear old Dad. I am nothing. You are precisely like me in every regard, Michael. Except for one. His father lumbers forward once more and cackles. You never win. There are a few concrete laws in the known universe. There is gravity. There are taxes. There is death. And there is the otherworldly, definite, inarguable testament that William Afton is always right. But, over the course of 2 days that probably had just been a few seconds, Michael Afton had discovered another sudden fact of the world. William Afton is afraid. Maybe I don't, Mike softly admits. Maybe I don't win. Maybe you robbed me of the chance of ever winning. But Dad, you know what? You're also just like Evan. You're just damn afraid. You're just a human. I am immortal. Yeah, you really look immortal like this, bastard. Then, Mike thinks once more of Tiny William, of William's boogeymen, and he can't just leave the kid behind. He can't do it. No matter how terrible William's smile had been when he touched that rabbit, he can't let another kid down. Mike has to try. The door to the main play area is still on its hinges, still able to be locked. Okay, get Dad out of the room, go back into the ball pit, use the precious minutes to completely change the course of his life, and then everyone will be saved. With a strange, newfound determination, Michael huffs out his chest, and he stares his father down. "I'm gonna save you, asshole!" His father quits contorting, quits laughing, and for a moment, his monstrous face appears almost placated. When he speaks, there is far less grating, far less metal, far less animatronic. And for a breathtaking, depressing, horrible moment, William Afton sounds just a bit more human. "There is no saving me, Mike." "Just let me try!" Mike cries, and tears are falling from his grotesque face. And Christ, he just wants to get back to William. He just wants to get back to the one person that believes in him. "You believed in me. What did I ever do to you? Did I remind you of him? Dad, just fucking tell me what I ever did to..." Mike trails off, because he knows what he did. He killed Evan. "Dad, I can save him. I can save your son. Let me fix it. I just want to..." "You do not get to be a hero!" "You murderer," his father had denounced, before he had killed, before he had spilled any blood. "How could you fucking do this, Mike? How could you take him from me?" "Were you mad because he's your son? Or because I took away one of your things, old man? I don't think you know how to love a single thing." His father laughs once more. I did love them all. I just loathe you, you pathetic little insolent thing. You believed in me!" When Mike's hands fall, they brush past his pocket, and he gasps. He hurriedly rummages through it as his father advances once more, and finally, Michael Afton stuns his father. He withdraws a purple wooden bunny. He presents it to his father, like Moses presenting his faith to a river to be parted. His father's teeth grind together as he examines the little rabbit, and Mike starts sweating as the fire nearly consumes the room. Then, Mike takes off running. His father is quick to follow, limping after him. The two end up in the hallway outside of the play area, and Mike jumps over the fallen debris, but his father catches up to him. He pins him against the wall, metal and wires screaming within. Mike winces as his father raises his sharpened arm, and then his father hurtles it downward. Instead of stabbing into Mike, though, he pierces the wooden toy. He curiously brings it to his line of sight, murmuring to himself within. Then, his eyes from within light up a bit, and he whispers, as if he is human. Be brave. Be brave. He's saying it to himself, as if Mike doesn't exist at all. Then his monstrous hand slacks, and Mike takes the opportunity to slip away from his grasp, his father momentarily transfixed on the broken toy. Mike shoves himself into the main play area, slamming the door behind him. He heaves, grabbing one of the tables that had not burned, and he drags it to the door, barricading himself in. He chars his hands as he hurls the burning chairs and toys and tables and creates a fortress within. His father is already there, pounding his fist against the door. Mike's anxiety alleviates just a tiny bit when the door doesn't budge against his father's onslaught. He heaves, gyrating on his heel, and he does not take a moment to even ponder if the ball pit will work again. All he can do is will himself back to his young father and assure him that everything is okay. And damn it, he is going to fucking fix William Afton. He jumps, and then there is no fire, only a surging darkness.